What is up, guys? Don Juan. So today I'm going to be bringing you guys the final video of the Airlift setup. I apologize that it took so long. The weather hasn't been great and I haven't really had the time when the weather was okay. So finally today I'll be able to go ahead and get you guys the full overview of the system, give you the height, the how it looks when it's raised, lowered, all that good stuff, and a little bit of the controller module itself. If you guys are interested in Airlift, you can either contact Airlift directly or you can go through bagriders.com. That's who I went through. They're really helpful. They have really knowledgeable about the systems, and they'll give you all your different options on either tank setups or what fittings to run, what lines to run, all that kind of good stuff. So let me answer a few questions that I know people may have. So first, is air ride better than the stock suspension? In a sense, yes, when it comes to ride quality. The ride quality can be a lot more plush, or it can be a lot stiffer, depending on what you want. It has full dampening controls, as I showed in the last video. So is it great for drag racing, or is it great for going around the track? That I really don't know, because I don't do that. I had one person ask me if it was legal on the drag strip. I have no idea, because I don't really go to the drag strips or anything like that. So you would have to figure out all that information. Second thing is going to be like, oh, do you really drive that low? No. The beauty of airbags is you can raise and lower as much as you want. I'll show you guys that here coming up soon. When you air out, it's more of an aesthetic thing. It's more for looks, But also, if your car's gonna be parked for a long period of time, you're supposed to air out. You don't want the bags, with air all the time. If you're going to the store, running in real quick, so on and so forth, no big deal. But if you're gonna park for a long period of time, a few hours and stuff, you're gonna, you air it out. And I guess because some people missed it on the other videos, the price of it. I got this kit on sale for right around 3,300 bucks. Regular price for these chargers usually run right close to $5,000, like 47 and some change. And then most of those people, like most of the websites who sell it, will give you free shipping anyway, but there could be shipping involved as well. And yeah, without further ado, I hope that answered most of the general questions that a lot of people ask. If you have any other questions, just hit me up in a comment down below and I'll try to answer as best I can. But without further ado, here goes the air ride setup. Alright guys, real quick before we get outside and showing you guys how it looks, I'm going to show you guys how it works. So we're in the Scat right now, power's off and everything, and here's my controller right here. There's the controller. So as you can see, it's off. As soon as you go power on to ignition, the device, key on, it turns on. So that's how it looks. If you look at it closely, we have our PSI on the top. Let me see if I can get this to focus. You have the PSI in the top right corner, and as you can see, it says aired out right there on the left, and each corner 0000 is for each factor, like for each wheel. So that'd be front left, front right, rear left, rear right. So then we have our three, as you can see right here. I'm trying to get the angle. So you see that there's 4 buttons that are above and 4 buttons that are receded down. So for example, the button right here that's considered on top, that will air up the front passenger right side. If you hit the little dimple right underneath it, that's going to air out that side. So basically there's 2 on each corner, 2, 2, 2, 2. Okay, now for the actual controller, you have presets. So right here, this one right here, that's going to be your high ride height preset. So you can set it to whatever you want. So if I click it once, you guys will see those PSI numbers that just popped up. Those PSI numbers, let me do it again. So right there, 90 and 100. So basically that's my high ride height, is 90 PSI in the front, 100 in the back. If I hit the middle, that's my regular driving height. The rears are a little high, I'll probably reduce that down. And then you got the low ride height right here. So this is when you ride lower. And then the very bottom is gonna be full air out, and the very top is going to be manual. As you can see, I tapped it and there's a few PSI in each one. So we'll go ahead and start the car. Alright, so as you can see here, push it once and it pops up, push it again, and there it goes. So I just raised the car up, to that PSI rating. And this system has like an auto leveling system, so it tries to keep the PSI between the two as even as possible. As you can see, 90 in the front, 90, 96, 96. Now, if I want to go to my regular ride height, I hit it, and as you can see, it drops down and it'll actually settle out. And it gets pretty close. I mean, you know, you're talking about within a few PSI. If you hit both of them together, like any two together, you get into the settings menu. In the settings menu, as you can see, we have display, operation, setup, calibration, and about. So for calibration, you only use that in the very beginning when you first get the, you know, airbag set up. It'll tell you to calibrate. So if we go into display, you can see you can have brightness, all that good stuff. And then we'll go back. You'll go to operation, and you can see rise on start. I have that turned off. You know what that does is it obviously what it says. As soon as the car started, it'll actually rise to the, you know, whatever set ride height. Preset maintain is one I was talking about. So basically, after you get the preset, it'll actually maintain that those heights. You know, so if you start losing air on certain sides, like if you have a slow leak, it'll keep it. Minimum driving height, you can click on that. It'll say it won't let it go below 25 psi. So basically, if something happens and it has to put air in, it will. Pressure height, this is basically if you have the height sensors, so I don't, so it's on pressure only, and then so on and so forth. Like right here is the axle equalization is turned on, so it keeps them, you know, the whole axle in the same. Show mode, it allows you to do like little, you know, certain little presets and everything like that. So yeah. So now we'll get moved on towards the actually what it looks like outside. Alright guys, so it's a little windy today, so I'm going to try to make this, you know, so I don't talk too much outside, but this is going to be the average ride height, and then I'll show you guys what it looks like going up and down. Daily basis. Get that zoomed in. So that's my front height. And we'll go over here to the back. That's my rear height. So I don't rub with this, I don't scrape underneath anything, but I'm used to driving lowered vehicles. So it's normal to me. I mean, I go at an angle and stuff to be on the safe side, but even regular speed bumps, I've gone straight with this height. And as long as you go slow, I mean, it's fine, but you can always raise it. So now we'll actually go through the motions of what it looks like when it's raised. Alright, so I'm going to use the GoPro so you guys can see what it looks like underneath the car when I air out and everything. Hopefully I don't break it. So let's get this underneath here. So right now, this is average ride height. We're going to go all the way up. This amount of PSI, this is like the maximum PSI that they recommend to drive on. So it's not the maximum for the actual, what the bags can handle, but anything more than this is about 115 in the front and it's about 120 in the back. The back can still get adjusted, so I'll explain that later, but this is probably like the maximum drive height, you know, but if you have some like bad roads or something, this is what I put my car to. So now we're gonna go down. With this lowers the car all the way to where there's no more air in the bags at all. So it's touching in the front and it's touching in the rear. Now for the back, if you guys can see, it's tucking a lot more than the front. The backs can be adjusted, which I'm planning to do as soon as I get my new wheels. So you can still adjust the shock like I showed you in the last video. That'll actually increase the ride height a little bit so you can run less PSI. I'm planning to increase my shock one more time, probably another inch up, because if you saw with my regular ride height, that's around 95 PSI, which I don't like being that much pressure. I would like to get that down in the 70s. So I'll probably raise it another inch to an inch and a half on the shock, which will give me more overall clearance, which will reduce the amount of air I need in the bags. So with this, I'm gonna show you guys what the back looks like. Yeah, so you guys like the front, that's what it looks like in the back. before I get done with the video, I'm just gonna play around with the levels so you can see that you can do pretty much whatever you want with this whole air ride system.
In a wonderland without angels, that is how I feel when the mirror shows me a stranger. Yeah, and I know they're just fragments of a world where your absence all I get to see. Take me back to the planet where you and I are still meant to be. 'Cause I'm incomplete when you ain't by my side, when you don't wake up next to me. Yeah, I'm incomplete. I need you here tonight to cover up these.
We're gonna do a quick walk around so you guys can see what the ride height's like. So this is the front right here. Go around. That's the clearance on the front right there. Driver's side, you see, still got room to go down too without rubbing. If you wanted to run lower. Rear side.
But it won't be long before I realize it's a picture in my head, in my head. And I know they're just fragments of a world where your absence all I get to see. Take me back to the planet where you and I are still meant to be. 'Cause I'm incomplete when you ain't by my side, when you don't wake up next to me. Yeah, I'm incomplete. I need you here tonight to cover up these empty sheets. 'Cause I'm incomplete. I'm incomplete. I need you here tonight to cover up this empty sheets. 'Cause I'm
Alright guys, so hopefully you enjoyed the video. Hopefully you can hear me over the exhaust and the wind noise. But you can see that with the air ride, you can do almost anything you want. It gives you the ability to raise and lower your car whenever you want. It gives you the ability to maneuver around things without having to be crazy low or anything like that. As you guys can see on my ride height, it's actually pretty low, but around where I live is really not that bad. So I can get away with that when you talk about clearance wise. My car is still not officially like complete on where I want it to be. I'm just waiting for the wheels to come in so I can do that final adjustment, get it really nice the way I want it, and then it'll be good to go. One last question I want to answer, because I know somebody's gonna ask for the alignment. So when you get an alignment done with a car with bags, what you do is you get on the alignment rack whichever way you need to, whether it's like extra high, like more air, so because you know some of the alignment racks are pretty steep, and then you put it on your drive height, you know, so whatever you're going to be driving at, that's why you got to play with the settings, get it the way you want it, get it comfortable for you, then you go get the alignment at that right height. So if you ever ride lower than that, or if you ever ride higher than that, your alignment's gonna be off. So you wanna play with it for, you know, usually about a week or two. Do your normal driving, go wherever you go during the week, normal places, so you know, like, okay, at this ride height, I can comfortably drive without having to worry about anything, and actually, you know, maneuver and get to wherever I need to go. If you realize later, like, man, this ride height's too low, or man, I can go a little bit lower, you can readjust it, but just remember, you have to go get an alignment again, because if not, you'll destroy your tires. So that's all I got for you guys on this one. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button down below, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.